So I want to give you a super simple framework of how it is you can use OKRs as the most critical part of your strategic planning process. So let's talk about what that planning process looks like. Now, you're going to start off with some sort of strategy setting activity. Now, this is where a lot of activity occurs, right? You might be using something like Martin's, where do we play framework, a Blue Ocean framework, or any other of a dozen different frameworks using SWOT and Presto and all that kind of stuff. The net is you come up with some sort of strategy. Now, the strategy itself allows you, the leadership team, to document some sort of top level strategic intent. We're going to develop new products, we're going to enter new markets, whatever that might be. Then you have to validate it and verify whether that makes sense. And the verification basically has 3 steps to it. One is you need to find out, if we achieved these strategic intent elements, would we achieve the overall strategy? In other words, if we did this, would we get that? If yes, then the second test is, do we have the capability, the skills, the knowledge, the experience to do this? If yes, then do we have the resources to go make that happen? The wealth, the time, the people, right? And so that's the verification process. Once we verified it, in other words, if I do this, I get that, then guess what? We take it the next level of detail down. So from strategic intent, we're going to document the top level objectives. Think of an OKR. What's the objective? Top level by key process, key department, key region, whatever that is. And then what do? We verify it. Now, the verification here is slightly different, but the same, right? If we do this, do I get that? In other words, if we achieve these strategic goals, do I achieve the strategic intent? If yes, then we take the next step. What are the top level key results? What would I see more of or less of as I move towards these goals? And I now need to verify. If I achieve this, or if I did this, would I achieve that? And it keeps on going. Once I've got the top level key results, I might need to cascade it down to departments. And once I've done the departments, I verify if I got the department cascaded goals, would I get the top level goals in terms of strategic goals to get the strategic intent? If yes, then what are the cascaded strategic results? And guess what we do after that? We verify. If I get those departmental key results, do I achieve these departmental cascaded goals, and so forth. And this might go on for several layers depending how deep your organization is. Eventually, you got to go off and launch that new strategy. Once I launch the strategy, we then go off and actually do the work. And guess what we then do? We verify. In other words, take a look at the work that's actually getting done and see if it's working up that value chain. Are we getting the things that we wanted to get? So that's it. That's strategic planning. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, the important thing that we see is the key activity here, the unifying thing, is verify. And what if we use the same work to verify all the way through? And that's where OKRs come in, right? At each point, I'm doing the corporate level objectives. I'm doing the cascaded objectives. I'm doing the top level key results. I'm doing the cascaded objectives. I'm doing the cascaded key results. So the issue is I'm using all the same framework all the way through. What does that mean? It means, first off, I don't have to do a different algorithm to verify at each step. I keep doing the same thing, using the same framework. I'm just getting more and more granular, more and more detailed. What does this mean? It means that this is not a house of cards. Let's say I'm not achieving this, right? When I do verification, it turns out the work is not moving us towards the objective. The whole thing doesn't fall apart. I just step it up one level. I go, okay, do I have the wrong key results? If the key results are still correct, do I have the right cascaded goals? If the cascaded key results are wrong, and so forth. So what ends up happening is that I don't have to go back and rethink strategy. I just go up the food chain until I get to the point where I fail the verification test. In other words, every strategy is based on a bunch of assumptions. In the real world, for a number of reasons, the wheels fall off that. Now I need to, given the world's a new scenario, where is it I need to rethink my strategy? At what node do I rethink it? And that's what this verification based on OKRs gives us. So not only is it not a house of cards, but what it means is I've got a machine that allows me to revalidate the strategy at any point in time. It could be a trigger event where I've not achieved the revenue or the new customers or whatever I wanted, or it could be the trigger event could be passage of time. Let's do it every quarter. Or something significant happens. I do a merger, I do an acquisition, COVID comes along. Doesn't matter what it is, this process allows me to, in a logical format, either go top down, bottom up, and allows me to verify using OKRs, a standard framework throughout the process. So I can go into more detail, but the net is OKRs become the fabric that connect that strategic planning process into one easy to execute, repeatable standard process.